All right, so we have a faulty Hydrobooster in our AM General Humvee, and I have sourced a new one from my friends over at MacMotors. This is not a sponsored video, but I'll tell you that Craig Boyk and the people at MacMotors have been wonderful over the years that I've owned this. Get things shipped out to me quickly, even here in Alaska, and they have the OE parts for your truck. With that being said, let's tear this box open and see what they sent us. Let's take a look at the invoice. So the cost for this thing, list price, $416.50. Shipping, $80.94. That's because everything that they ship to Alaska is done second day air. It doesn't matter what it is that you're purchasing. That's how they send it. So for $497.44, we will be making a repair to this truck. Let's see what else is inside here. Well, it's well packed at least. We have a box in a box. We got a little bit of shipping damage, but that looks like it happened somewhere else. I think I saw on the label this weighs 30 pounds, 33 pounds, something like that. So it's got some mass to it. Take a look inside. There we go. By the way, you Jeep guys get this. I will tell you that working on the truck, especially in this incredibly cramped area, it's 1,000 times better when you just pop the door off. You might be asking yourself, why am I changing it, per se? Well, let's shed some light on the subject. What we have here is the cab side, the firewall side of the truck. And you'll notice a stain darkening right here, a little darker green than the other green. It's not because I've polished and cleaned it, it's oil soaked. It also has an odor. The odor is noticeable of, power steering fluid. So I gotta get the hood open, and I put these limb risers on here. Go on my channel, take a look, you'll see the video that includes them. We have these pins have to come out, but the way that I rigged this up, it's best if I take this pin out first. My handy dandy holes here. Front pin, and here's our other. Take the pin off. Again, I'm doing that without tools. Just popping things off. Here's the other pin. There's the other hood latch. We're still not done. Now we have to take this whole monster and pull it forward. And there it goes. Now and only now, I can open the hood. That thing's a pain. It just is what it is. Original unit is nestled down in here. This thing has the cover. I'm going to try to leave all this in place and just go in here and see if I can snag it out. The master cylinder does separate right here between the booster and that unit. I will have to have room for the studs to clear, and I'm not sure how much room we'll have there. We'll find out. And then, of course, once that's pushed forward, this has to have enough room for those long studs on the back to come through the firewall. So we'll see. Tools you're going to need to replace this monster. Needle nose to get to the clevis pin up inside on the brake pedal. A ratchet, a flat blade screwdriver in order to get to the return line that's on the hose. You're going to need a deep well 14mm socket. you'll need a swivel and a variety of different extensions. You'll need a pair of 14 millimeter wrenches to get to the nuts that are associated with this portion of your booster. You're going to need a 19 millimeter plumbing pipe wrench in order to get up inside of your hoses here and get those done. If you don't have that, a 3/4 will do. And speaking of a 3/4, you'll also want an open end wrench to be able to get into these things because there's not a lot of room. You're going to definitely want an air ratchet to give you some space to work inside here if you do it the way I did it. And very handy to have a impact driver when you're up underneath the dashboard to get these long nuts off here and get them back on in place quickly. So I'm going to take this bolt out here. This holds a bracket that goes directly against the master cylinder. Or shall I say the master cylinder holds a bracket that goes directly against this guy here. These gear wrenches, when you get them to work, are wonderful. Especially situations just like this. Very nice. Unless your gear turns exactly the distance that you need to turn your wrench. So may need to get my air ratchet in here, I think, so I can just drop in and just slam it. Same over here. I'll go get the air ratchet. This is our bracket that it goes down there, and a little tricky to get out, but now see if we can hit this 14 millimeter with a swivel extension. All right, I'm gonna try not to lose this nut. Okay, let's get this bracket out of the way. Let me see if I can just persuade that. Okay, what I'm going to do here, I'm really not an air tool guy. I know if I did this stuff for a living, that would be my bread and butter, get things done, but golly, the noise, and it's bulky to get it into place. There we go. Okay. Aha! That's it. So there is room. There is room to get the master cylinder off without disconnecting the brake lines. It's kind of surprised me. I would have thought this to be an 18. It wasn't very tight either. I would have thought this to be an 18 maybe. If you're doing this and you don't have a metric tubing wrench like this available, 3/4 will work. It's, quote, close enough for, quote, government work. Get this line here out of the way. In a perfect world, if it wasn't below freezing outside, I would have liked to rinse this all down really, really well first. It would have made sense. Our last adventure was quite dirty. Okay, that line is leaking a little on me. All right. I tell you, this type of fluid smells terrible. The additives they put in it, the wear additives, they have at least for me, there's a sort of a putrid odor. Okay, so that is everything disconnected on the outside. Now let's go inside and see what's up. Time to move out, baby. There you go. Come on. Yeah. See? Isn't that better being free? Okay, there's a washer on there. Okay, she's loose. How about this? I don't have time to sit here all night. Boom. Let that guy loose. See if we can come back this direction. Wait, it's promising. There we are. Victory. Here's one thing to be aware of. When you take the master cylinder off and the booster out of there, the pedal falls forward and there's your brake lights on. So, top tip, disconnect the battery. Sure, can do that. Or, if you're extra lazy, I'm pretty sure, there we go. Should be able to just turn all the power off to the lights. Yeah, there you go. No disconnecting the battery. Something you can do on this truck you couldn't do on a civilian truck without disconnecting the battery. The other thing you could do is put a bungee cord or something and pull it up. So that's that. Yep. The big trick was trying to figure out a way to get this to go in. Don't want to pinch wires. That would be a really bad idea. The dang master cylinder to wiggle on there while I can reposition things. Let's see how. Ooh, nope. That looks promising. Yeah, there we go. Be a lot easier to get this thing installed before I put the bolts through the firewall all the way. Well, I can wiggle it. All right, let's tighten it up. Very nice. I don't think I said it when I was taking it apart, but I was surprised that these nuts right here were not tight. This is such a tight spot, but having the electric torque wrench helps a lot. So this washer goes on, a filthy dirty washer, and then the pin. This is the goofy inner fender held bracket. I ran it up initially with my air ratchet because it's a lot of threads. I need to back it off a little. Yeah, there you go. So this principle right here is the, there's a name for it, and I don't know what it is, but if you drop a wrench or a tool, it's going to roll to the most difficult place to access it no matter what. It's guaranteed. It's the rule of the tool. Okay, there we go. So I just need to break that a little bit loose, and now I can line this puppy up. Okay, there's another rule of auto mechanicals. Every time you put your ratchet on, it's going to be facing the wrong direction for tightening or loosening. Okay, there we go. Yep, just like that. What I'm going to do is kind of let this float in place. It's a very slotted bracket in both directions. Alright, so there's our cap removed. Now we can proceed to pummel the hole with the line. It looks pretty good so far. What did I say? 3/4 or 19 millimeter? Use the 19 that I have here for doing the final tighten. And now we're going to put the 19 millimeter tubing wrench on. There, and give it a little bit of a twist. There we go. There we go. That's good. And then we're going to do the same here. Again, notice the tubing wrench has a slot smaller than an open end wrench, but big enough to get your wrench around the tube. This guy, I'm going to shake it out, make sure there's nothing in it, and that's it. Tighten that up, and that will complete the hydraulics. Final product. Put a little paint on my brake cap just to get rid of some of that rust there. It's going to be filthy dirty before you know it. Everything's in, bolted up. All the lines are secured. So it's just a matter now of firing it up, letting the air work out of the system, pressurize this, steering wheel left, right, left, right, left, right. That'll help purge things through. And then that will be up and running.